Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, get better. Getting better. Nobody cares. Well, you do. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, it's going around. My
Oh,
mom
yeah.
got it last night too, so that's why.
Yeah, my dad too. Everybody's kind of been feeling it, but guys are doing a good job of washing hands, making sure we bring up some of those germ spreading philosophies.
Is it wonky to have to deal with a locker room full of that?
Yeah, I mean, look, you've been dealing with that since high school, right? Like high school football, I remember it's so much just spreads, and similar to in college, same thing. So you deal with it, it's just the way it is, locker rooms, football, sports, whatever it is, that just got to take extra precautions, that's all.
Hey, Liam, going into this last game, obviously next week, do you like where Brian Thomas is at?
Yeah.
How he fits and progress he's made?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think him and Trev were a little frustrated last week on not connecting on a few of those that we had last week that we had connected on. I think kind of dating back to the first Indy game. So some great ops for that to continue to evolve and continue to be a part of our offense being explosive. Made a few big catches, corner routes last week, and need to continue to be able to get him involved. I mean, the more he's going, Jacoby, Parker, Strange, and you get the defense to have to defend every blade of grass, that's when your offense can truly be as explosive as it needs to be.
Does it say a lot about him that Sauce's following him last week, the week before that starts?
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
how other teams view him?
Yeah, we assume. I mean, when you have a guy that can do that and you score quick, I think that's the big respect avenue. Is like we can't let people just score fast. That's the hardest, I think, way to go in a lot of ways, right? Because now it just becomes those kind of games, and he can do that to you, right? And so we're gaining more and more confidence with that group in the past game. I mean, yesterday him and Trev connected on one that was arguably one of the better ones I've seen in practice of those guys, really of the whole group all season. So excited about those guys continuing to evolve.
In terms of Devon Hamilton, how would you describe his approach as a pro and the job that he's done for you guys?
Yeah, he's just, like you said, he's a pro's pro. Doesn't say a whole ton. When he does speak, guys listen. He just very unselfish, plays, I think fits very well within Campy's scheme and what they ask him to do. I think he's made others around him so much better. You look at the production our linebackers have been able to have because of his unselfishness and the way that he's made plays. Just defeating blocks, getting off double teams, pushing the pocket. I mean, those are all things that when you've got a nose that can demand double teams and demand respect inside, that he's a huge reason why our defense is leading the National Football League against the rush.
Hey, Liam, I asked Grant about this play yesterday. Trevor had the 37-yarder to Parker where he got hit right as he threw.
Yeah.
From your, I'm sure that happened to you as a quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
What does that last second feel like? When is it
It's coming. You kind of know, like there's a large percent chance you're about to lose your air. You're going to lose your air there for a couple of moments. Oxygen's not going to be easy to come by. And those are the type of throws that ultimately I think define quarterbacks in a lot of ways, especially at this level on critical down and distances, money downs, red zone, third down, 2-minute, gotta have it moments type deal, and you're staring down the barrel, you know you're gonna take a shot, and you deliver a strike. I mean, that's the selflessness of this position, right? That's what you get, I mean, that's what you get playing this position and at this level. You get the glory, you get all the the good things that come with it, but you got to stand in there and make those kind of throws. That's something that play in particular, looking at his leadership, his competitiveness, his toughness, I think goes extremely undervalued, is how tough he is, and how willing he is to stand in the pocket and take shots, and then ultimately be able to also use his legs and be able to run and take shots that way. So you want to try to limit as many hits you can on your quarterback, but when a 6'5", arguably almost 6'6", 230-pound quarterback's feet are above his head, that's a pretty physical shot that he took, and I think a lot of people looked at that clip in this building and said, you know, this guy's a dog.
I'm sure his toughness is something you had an idea of before you started working with him, but now that you actually have gone through a full season with him, just what has that trait said to you?
Yeah, huge. That was the first thing that I looked at with him when I watched him play from all those years prior was like, yeah, I know he's had some injuries and missed some games, but this dude's tough. And if you can start there with your quarterback, right? I mean, you want all your players to be mentally and physically tough, but specifically at the quarterback position, if he can be mentally and physically tough and kind of set the example for the rest of your team, your offense, that's the standard that gets upheld every single day and every game that you walk out on the field. And, you know, he's definitely taken some shots throughout the season. You want to try to protect him as best you can. You want him to protect himself as he gets out of the pocket as best you can, but instincts take over, competitiveness takes over, and it just speaks to who he is. I mean, who his teammates know he is, the leadership that he has, the confidence that the players have in him. I think you earn a lot of respect in this league by taking shots on the chin and getting up and doing it again.
Do you think momentum's a thing in this league at all? And carrying that into what's next?
Oh yeah, I mean, you feel it. I mean, knowing that every entity is its own, every game is its own, every play is its own, every drive, every series, it's all its own entity, and you have to treat it that way. But yeah, you can feel momentum for sure. I mean, you can feel momentum swings in a game, you can feel them on a drive, you can feel them in a season. So I don't think that you take that momentum and say, well, okay, this is just gonna happen now because we have momentum. That's not the case. You earn everything that you get in this league. You earn every opportunity that you get in this league. And you've got to take advantage of those moments when you do have momentum. You got to take advantage of them. Your opponent can feel it. I know you can feel it as a coach during a game. You can feel those things, but you know, we haven't really talked too much about momentum. It's more so just like, hey, you know, we're doing some good things. We've got to continue to seize the moment, take advantage of the opportunity that we do have, and that I think will in turn ride that momentum, as you mentioned.
You guys traded for Jacoby. How long did it take before you kind of realized everything you could do with him?
Very quickly, very early on, you could just see how well he picked up the offense, how much time that he spent putting into it. The relationship that he already had with Edgar, you know, with EB, really helps because EB has a good feel for what his strengths, the weaknesses, what he can handle mentally, and continue to push him past those limitations as well. So, you know, he's given us the ability to move him inside, out, you know, do different things with him within the route tree, and in the blocking is really where you continue to earn respect in this league as a receiver. Obviously, the catches, the tough, grimy, sideline, toe taps, over the middle, like those plays are huge for us, but also what he does without the ball in his hands is important, and he's extremely intelligent as a football player, which allows us to move him around.
How much do you attribute Trevor's surge to Jacoby's arrival?
You know, I think there's probably,
I mean, it's obvious.
I think there's obvious similarity or coincidences there that you know, he's able to attack a part of the field that we were missing a little bit, but I think just having somebody that you trust to be able to make some of those plays in the middle, like I kind of mentioned last week, it then now allows Parker, BT, Strange, ETN, like those guys to truly do what they're good at and what they're best at, and now you can spread the ball around on any given play, regardless of who it's designed for. The ball can go anywhere, and that's what I think those guys want, right? You want, as a player, especially a skilled player, with how much you run, whether it's in practice or a game, and how many times you actually touch the ball. I think it's good for them to know that on any given concept, regardless of who it's schemed for, the ball could go your way, because now the quarterback is truly just, he's playing free, he's trusting the protection, the scheme, and the guys to go make plays. And so, you know, I think that's helped, not just Jacoby and Trevor, but it's also helped our offense evolved to say, well, you got to defend us now, both vertically and horizontally.
We asked you a bunch about Trevor's progress through the system, learning everything, your confidence level early on, and it taking time. Was there a moment when you said, oh, the flip is switched, he's got it, I feel great now?
Honestly, at the end of the Rams game, I think I started to see just like, dude, just kind of cutting it loose a little bit. And, you know, with him and Travis, we're gaining a little bit of a rapport towards the end of the game where we're throwing it. You know, we're not scoring, but he stood in there and made some big time throws against a really good rush. Even though it was time where, you know, we weren't necessarily going to win the football game, but I saw a competitor. I saw a guy that didn't just like ask me, man, like, can you just throw some quick game and some screens so we can get up out of here? Like, that was not Trevor at all. It was a competitor. We were standing in there throwing 5-step, you know, concepts, 7-step concepts, and trying to push the ball down the field and compete. Then, okay, you hit the bye and you go to Houston. We don't have the success we're looking for after the Raiders game. And I thought in the Raiders game, though, he also took steps in the right direction. I thought he was trusting to cut it loose a little bit more, trusting the guys to make plays. And then, you know, I think that's really where we, after the Houston game, had some of those conversations. And then I think it's really just kind of clicked from there.
You've been open about the run game, kind of up and down the last few weeks, going up against Jeffrey Simmons and company this week. How much do you evaluate? We just need to be a multi-dimensional offense. We need to have the presence of the run and the pass versus we really need to start generating something on the run.
I mean, I think, what did we rush for last week?
120.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of meat on that bone, you know, and I thought we blocked much better in the run game this past Sunday against Indy. I think we missed a few things from the running back position, a couple blocks outside, a couple communication things, but I did think that it was a step in the right direction. Like, there was more holes, there was bigger holes that we need to take a little bit more advantage of with some explosives. But I thought we took a step in the right direction last week. Look, you never want to force something. I think we run it, you know, I guess you could say good enough to keep people, you know, honest. I think that's where, you know, play action continues to be something that Trevor's successful with. And when you can demand single high still, like when you can get people to play single high, well, you're going to be able to dictate some of the terms in the pass game. So, you want to be able to, I want to rush for 150 plus every week. I want to throw for 250 plus every week. That's goal, absolutely. But, and I'm going to continue to run the football. It's something I believe in. I think that you have to be able to do it, especially this time of year. And as you head into December, January football, you've got to be able to run the football and stop the run, but you're also not going to bang your head against the wall and do something that's ultimately in game maybe not working as much as maybe the pass or the screen or whatever it is, to be able to give your guys a chance to win that game.
I know obviously you weren't here last year, you weren't here the year before that, but short yardage was something that was a struggle for a lot of the guys who were here the last few years. How much was that a talking point when you first arrived?
Yeah.
Because I actually don't think we've asked you a question about short yardage in 18 weeks, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, I think we were really good at it. We struggled against, who was it, a couple weeks back where we didn't convert. Was it Arizona? Where we had like the 4th and 2, right, to close it out, didn't get it. Was not really a great play call by me, and we didn't execute it great. And then last week, not getting that one was frustrating. But I think overall, I have a lot of confidence in us in short yardage. I think our staff does a nice job of mixing, whether it's inside run versus, you know, getting the ball on the perimeter if you need to, if they're packing it in, having play calls that ultimately give the players options. If they present a look that takes something away inside, give us the flexibility to go outside. You know, we haven't taken probably a ton of shots in short yardage, which I'd like to, you know, be able to do a little bit more of, depending on if you have 4 downs or not. But I do think our guys have done a nice job overall. I don't know what our percentage is right now in short yardage, but it should be in the 80 percentile or so at least. But I do think we've done a nice job. I wouldn't say we're like absolutely dominant there, but I do think it's improved. I'm not sure what the numbers were in past years, but it's an area of the field that you want to continue. They're huge because you get another set of downs, and it's sometimes demoralizing for a defense as well, especially if it's fourth down, right? 4th and 1, and you convert, and you're able to go close out a game. Well, man, that hurts. That's a tough position to be in on the other side of the football. So it's a huge point of emphasis. We talk about, we spend a lot of time in short yardage as a staff and with the players. So, hopefully we can continue to take steps in the short yardage work.
Jarian Jones has a couple interceptions in the last couple of games. What have you seen out of Jarian's game in terms of him elevating, and how much upside does he still have as a young player in this league?
Yeah, I think Jarian's preparation has really upticked over the course, I can't say how many weeks, but like even at practice yesterday, I would say he was one of the most, guys talking the most on it, saying things before the play, communicating to his teammates. Practice energy is something that I do appreciate as a coach. Intentional energy of wanting to make sure that you're doing the right things, right? Like you're not just out there in a crappy stance, this is another practice or walk through rep. And look, we can all get into that at times, like it's pretty natural behavior. But I think Jarian's done a really nice job of being intentional about his work throughout the week of practice, through the week of preparation. And then on Sundays, he's made plays. I mean, he's got confidence. I think, I saw that video of those guys post-game, right, coming back from the field to the locker room. And I think it was Crazy LeQuint and Josh Hines Allen and Cam talking, and then Jarian comes, into the camera there and was like, I'm like that. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're playing like that for sure. I want you to feel that way. I want you to have that confidence. And I think his teammates have appreciated that, because it's a guy that, early on in the season, like just wasn't playing as much because we did have depth in the secondary, right? We had Travis, we had Tyson Campbell, we had Jordan Lewis, we had all these guys playing, Buster. And then we ended up making a move, and he wasn't playing right away. Like he didn't just slide into that position, and that was hard. That was hard for Jarian for a little while. And credit him for staying the course, for trusting the process, for trusting himself and believing in himself. And also the staff doing a great job of keeping him going and keeping him confident, keeping him engaged, saying, dude, you're gonna help us win football games here. We promise you, you're gonna help us win. And he has. And so I've been really appreciative of that.
Coach, thank you.
See you Sunday.
Yeah.